Welcome everybody, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button and you can click it for me, I'm attempting to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and you clicking that button would really help me out. All right, we're going to take a look today at a brand new U.D.O album called We Are One. It just came out on Friday, July 17th of 2020. The band's most famous for having namesake U.D.O Dirk Schneider as the lead vocalist, having come from the classic metal group Accept. Now, the man, U.D.O Dirk Schneider, has had a really prolific 44-year career in the music industry, and he's recorded a total of 27 studio albums during that time. I mean, most artists don't record, 5 or 10, much less nearly 30, so really quite an accomplishment. He recorded 10 studio albums with Accept and 17 with his band U.D.O. Now, U.D.O the man helped form the band Accept all the way back in 1976, and they released their debut album in 1979, but it wasn't until the 1983 album Balls to the Wall and the title track Song that they really broke through, with this album going gold. The song itself is still heard all over rock and metal radio, so it's really quite the staple. And U.D.O would stay with the band until 1987, recording 2 more records with him. You can see them behind me there on the top tier. And ultimately leaving in 87 to form his namesake group, U.D.O. And the debut album that they would record, Animal House, what's interesting of note here is that all the material on this record was actually written by U.D.O and the band Accept. It was intended for the next album that they would have recorded as a band if U.D.O hadn't left, but he left, took the material, and recorded this album here. So now at this point, U.D.O has, over those years, has recorded a total of 17 albums, which brings us to this album here, the one I want to talk to you about, called We Are One, and the new album that it is. It's a concept album, and it's about global warming and the state that the world is in and that it needs saving. And the album liner notes are even more poignant on this, with the message having been written during the COVID-19 pandemic. It references the state of the world and how it is that we could get to a place like this with something going on such as this. However, the concept of the orchestra part of this is not new to U.D.O. 5 years ago, U.D.O recorded and released Navy Metal Night. This is a live album that took his back catalog and reinterpreted it with an orchestra. The two things, though, that these albums have in common is that both of them, including this one here, has additional instrumental pieces in between some of the songs, fleshing it out, giving the album a really good flow, and in my opinion, more depth, but also allowing the orchestra to shine on their own equally the way that the band does in this. So it really is a collaboration between orchestra and band writing these songs together. There's 15 total tracks on this album, but 5 of them are non-traditional U.D.O songs. We've got track 6, which has got a female lead vocalist singing without U.D.O, track 7 that's an instrumental, track 10 that's an instrumental with choir, track 11 is a duet with a female co-lead vocalist on it, and then track 12 is another instrumental, but this one has some minimal vocal accompaniment on it. The remaining tracks on here, though, are full-on pure U.D.O. Now, the orchestra on here isn't the only thing that U.D.O's returning to. He's also working with 2 former Accept bandmates, Peter Baltz on bass and Stefan Kaufmann on drums, and they co-wrote and helped produce this album with him. For me, I really love this album top to bottom. I enjoy albums that take a chance, that are grandiose, big, bombastic, and to me, this album is no exception to that. Some real standout songs on here. Track 1, Pandemonium, I think is just the perfect song on it. It's my favorite out of everything on here. It's a big, epic opener covering the full scope of the album. So if you want to know what this album is all about, listen to track 1. Track 4 is also really great, called Future is the Reason Why. And it's a nice grinding rocker with full orchestrated melodies in it that's just really, really excellent. Track 8, Mother Earth. This song is really at the heart of the concept album on here, in my opinion, but it's also just a really dirty rocker that has all kinds of bombast with a full choir singing on the chorus that just makes it an epic number. And then track 10, Natural Forces. Now, despite this one not featuring U.D.O, this is one of those instrumentals on here. It's a great high energy piece that really adds to the album, I think, and it also lets the orchestra shine here, and you can really see what they can do. So let's take a quick look at this. This is the front cover of it. I really like the artwork, and I think it sort of shows that grand scale of things with the world and everything in it. It's also just a really great message, that idea, we are one. And certainly with the pandemic and everything going on, it's a great message to be hearing right now. Good shot of U.D.O, the band, with the conductor there. Here's the inside, and I'll pop the disc out. There you go. I'll flip this around, give you a full view. Let's take a look at the booklet. Booklet's pretty interesting. So there's the front cover. The inside of this has the liner notes I was talking about that runs through the idea and everything going on. Then, of course, you've got credits, and you've got all the band members from the 60-piece orchestra even listed in here, which is great. And just some thank yous stuff there. But then you get into, lyrics and things, and, a bit more. Then we get into there. Really great shot of the 60-piece orchestra and the band U.D.O with that jet behind them and the sunset sky, which is really quite cool. Some other shots of things in here. Just again, more lyrics and things like that. Now, when we get to the back of this, though, there's more stuff written up about it. It's the tiniest print I've ever seen in my life. So unless you've got a magnifying glass, you're gonna have a little difficulty reading it. But I'll give you some history on the orchestra and stuff, which is pretty cool too. All right, so bottom line, I really can't say enough good things about this album. I think if you like bands like Sabotage, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Dream Theater, that sort of progressive rock metal side of things, even though U.D.O maybe typically doesn't fall into that realm, you're gonna really like this album here. Of course, if you like Accept and U.D.O, you're gonna love this. It's almost nothing like anything that I've heard before. Yeah, there's other bands that have done the orchestra and album. There's some real big names that come to mind that we all know of. Another one that's getting ready to release another 20th anniversary of that famous album that I'm not going to mention here. But, and this is an album where the tracks are written just for this album. It's a collaboration. It's not songs that had orchestra added to it. It was all written together. And I think that's what sets this album apart. And then on top of that, there's a concept and a storyline with it, with a really wonderful message that's in here. I like albums that take chances. I think that's what this one is doing here, and I would really recommend it and hope that you guys take a chance on it as well. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.